Silence. um, so I was watching a video yesterday about this guy. It's called Life Outrage, and he basically said everything that I've been thinking for the past 3 years, or like that's come to light that I've not wanted to say, kind of thing, or I have in so many words but not said it. Um, so it's about like the reasons that people are struggling is because like you're forced into like school stuff like that. You thought what he said proper rang true. We run about when you go to school and you've got the bell. You've got the bell for when you go into class. You've got the bell for when you're allowed to go to break. You've got the bell for like when you're allowed to have your lunch. You've got to ask the teacher for permission to go and have a piss. And it's just all indoctrinating us and training us from a young age to comply with the system that we're all struggling to get out of, kind of thing. Because that's why we're all struggling. That's why we've got anxiety. That's why we've got fears. Because all this system stuff, um, people get stuck in it and they don't know a way out. Like, I mean, our food, it's got all like chemicals and stuff in it, so that aggravates our hormones and our system and stuff like that. We've got the environmental like pesticides and things like that that um aggravate, like they can give you skin conditions and things like that. But it's just all about when you're younger, you're just trained from a baby, aren't you? You're trained to be this certain way to fit into the norm, kind of thing. Whereas I think if you were just like, obviously you can't look after yourself when you're a baby, but if you'd guided instead of forced to do things that you didn't want to do and go places that you didn't want to go. Like some kids hate school. I didn't not like school, but I didn't like being told what to do. I don't think anyone likes being told what to do, um, unless you're proper indoctrinated into the system and that's your way of living, kind of thing. But I just can't live like that. I'm all about freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of rights, freedom of speech. Um, you should be able to do whatever you want as long as you're not endangering another person's life or your own. And I think like when you rebel against your parents and teachers, they don't like it, um, because you're not conforming. But why should you have to Why should you conform? You're your own individual person. You try and express yourself, and then when you try to express yourself, you get shut down. So then it all gets enraged inside of you because you've no outlet to let your expressions and yourself come out. So then you're just stuck in turmoil, and then you end up with depression, you end up with anxiety because you're not being yourself. Um, so the system has got a lot to answer for. Like the government makes us fight against each other. It causes like race and immigration wars. Like they fearmonger us, like with news saying, "Oh, uh, people are coming into our country," but everyone's free to do what they want to do. I mean, like you shouldn't fight against your fellow human because the government's put something in your head. Like you should have your own opinion. Um, it's like with food, we're not allowed to grow our own. Well, we are allowed to grow our own food, but like that should be in the education system. You should be able to learn how to grow your own food, how to become self-sufficient instead of relying on the government and relying on uh, like everything else, everything's for your convenience. And I think when everything becomes for your convenience, we become lazy because it's all there on a plate for us. But it's not, because if you go to your convenience, like your local shop, it's just got shit in there. It's got chocolate, it's got things full of additives. Your bread, your bread that you get now lasts like for 3 weeks and it doesn't even start going mouldy. I mean, what's that all about? So I don't eat bread and I don't drink milk, because I think there's too many steroids and hormones and antibiotics pumped into animals these days. So I try to stay away from things like that as much as I can. Um, like we're not even taught about whole foods and things like that in schools, right? Like that. It's just like it's just all the fast foods takeaways and things, and it's just like, what world are we living in? I mean, you take all these like naughty children, like they're not naughty. If you took them, put them into like a bushcraft group, like with campfires and camping out and being free in the wilderness and stuff, they wouldn't be naughty. They'd feel at one with the earth and they'd feel free to express themselves. But nothing like that happens. You get social services involved. You get uh, other teacher like things involved, and police get involved, and then it all just spirals into like a world load of shit. And if you're not open and awakened to the world, then you're just gonna have to go through life thinking that that's how you have to be when it's not. Um, it's not your fault if you've got aggression problems, or you're angry, you're depressed. It's the system's fault. But if you can find a way out of the system, or look into what the system actually does to people, then you're on your way out of the system. Um, my end goal is to end up living in a tent, walking around England or Europe or something like that. Because I'm not staying in a house. I'm not going to pay bills. I'm not going to get a job just to conform. Um, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I've worked in past and it made me ill. It was too much pressure, like overwhelming and things like that, and all these different energies around me, and being told what to do, and if you didn't do something right, it's just all bullshit. Um, you were born to live a free life, to find not your purpose, but just to be. And if you can bring kindness and like a bit of joy to the world, then you've achieved your goal. There's no point stressing yourself out like with bills and mortgages and worrying about shit that doesn't need to be worried about. Um, so I just thought I'd do a little rant this morning because I did what's it called? Out Life Outrage, I think it's called. It just made me think, and I am going to start saying what I think, because you should say what you think. There's a lot of people think the way that I think. So I want to find my crowd that thinks the way I think. So if you've liked anything that I've said, or my videos resonate with you, please can you subscribe? Um, if you're free and spiritual, subscribe. If you're on a path of healing, like from drugs, antidepressants, alcohol, subscribe. You can also hit the like, and notifications will buzz for my next videos if you want to get them straight away. So thank you for watching. This video has been about the system and living free for yourself and not complying with the world and how you think it should be. So thanks for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.